How's it going, New York Giants fans? My name is Alex with my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. Another day, another Fireside Giants video. And today we want to discuss one of the more underrated defensive players on this team, and his name is Julian Love. We love Julian Love. One of those pieces that can fit any role in the defensive secondary, has experience at free safety, strong safety, boundary corner, slot corner. He can do it all. So we want to discuss what he's bringing this upcoming year, how maybe he'll win that starting strong safety job, and kind of like his first opportunity to get a starting gig. And it's been a while. He's been fighting, waiting. You had Jabril Peppers in the mix. You got Logan Ryan in the mix. Now you have a couple of open spots in that secondary to fill. And Julian Love, this is his opportunity to steal that job. And, the only person really in his way is Dane Belton, rookie out of Iowa. So we'll discuss that, what Love has brought to the table over the last couple of years and just how versatile he's been. Really just a quality piece of this defensive unit that actually has kind of played above expectations given the entire scenario on offense. But Anthony, before we dive into Julian Love, how you do today, my friend?
Doing great. And yeah, Julian Love, as you said it, we love Julian Love. Been a big fan of his since he was drafted in the 4th round in 2019. Really like everything that he's brought to the table for the Giants. And I think that he's always been a very solid contributor. And what I love about Julian Love and what everybody else really appreciates from him is that he is so versatile. He can line up pretty much anywhere. We've seen him start games at strong safety when Jabril Peppers was injured during Julian Love's rookie season. We've seen him start games at free safety. We've seen him start games at slot cornerback, and he even started 1 or 2 at out wide cornerback. So he's lined up everywhere on the Giants defense. He's even lined up in the box a few times, played a little hybrid linebacker on some nickel packages. He lines up anywhere that the Giants ask him to. And I really appreciate that about Julian Love, the fact that he just got that willingness to play wherever. But finally, the opportunity seems to have presented itself to Julian Love and has afforded him the opportunity to compete for a full-time starting position rather than just being the guy that's called upon to start whenever anyone on the Giants gets injured. He could be the guy that's starting on this defense. And I think that's a very exciting opportunity for Julian Love. And I do think it's an opportunity that he is fully prepared for. I think he's ready for a starting position. And I'm excited to see him battle it out in training camp, maybe with Dane Belton or a couple other young defensive backs, and hopefully see Julian Love win a starting job this summer.
I would love it too, honestly. He's been working so hard to try and get this spot. We talked to him after his rookie year and kind of what he was doing. He was like, just trying to learn the system, get into the groove. He didn't really play that much his rookie season, 408 total snaps, so about half of what he's been doing the past 2 years, a little bit less. And you know what? He's got all the tools to be a good player. Coming out of Notre Dame, 4th round pick in 2019, he was always a good coverage guy, right? Like that was always the thing. He was always going to be solid in coverage. Now the question was, could he be a tackler and could he be efficient in that category from the strong safety position? And I think that he has gotten so much better as a tackler over the years. During his rookie year, he missed 12.5% of his tackles, 6.5. So he cut that in half in 2020 and then went even lower at 4.9% missed tackle rate with just 3 missed tackles in 2021. So by all accounts, he's a good guy to have in that area. Had 3 penalties last year, which is actually the first year ever he's had a penalty against him. All of them coming in coverage. He gave up 3 touchdowns, had an interception, had a career best 5 pass breakups. So had a couple of issues in coverage at times because they were mainly utilizing him to supplement a couple of issues, Dory Jackson's injury and whatnot. So, he was kind of put into spots he hadn't played in a little while, but still has the wherewithal to be a solid contributor in those areas. Now, his snap counts are interesting. He actually played a pretty significant role in the special teams units, which I find to be awesome because having a guy that versatile who can fill multiple roles on defense but also contribute on special teams is really, really important. Last year, he played 140 snaps in the box, 43 on the defensive line, so kind of lining up, maybe as a blitzer. 211 snaps at slot corner, 35 at wide corner, and 182 at free safety. So here's an interesting question for you. We talked about Xavier Mckinney yesterday, why he's going to be such an impact player for this Giants team. And you look at Julian Love, and his best spot, I would argue, he might actually be better at free safety than strong safety, given his coverage capabilities and just vision and IQ. What do you think Wink Martindale can do with these 2 guys on the field at the same time and just utilizing them kind of as a tandem or really creating a lot of confusion for opposing offenses and just being like, who's dropping back into coverage? Who's going to be that high safety? What do you do there to really maximize both guys' value?
It's kind of interesting because you mentioned that you think Julian Love might be a better fit at free safety, and I've kind of always been in the thought process that I think Xavier McKinney is a better fit at strong safety. I really like what he provides in the box. I think he's a great run defender. He's a great tackler. Coming out of college, I thought that he was a great strong safety. So it's interesting now the way that things have shaped out where Xavier McKinney is the best coverage man on the back end for the Giants. So he's going to be that free safety. Julian Love, his skill set coming from being a slot cornerback in college, now moving over, it just makes sense for him to kind of be more of a free safety, I guess, in that regard. But he also is a very willing tackler, and he's a good tackler. As you just mentioned, his tackling numbers, his missed tackle percentage has dropped each and every season. And I even thought in his rookie season where he had that 12.5% missed tackle percentage, I thought he was a really good tackler as a rookie. There was that game against, I think, the Miami Dolphins. He started at strong safety in place of Jabril Peppers, and I think he forced a fumble in that game, if I'm not mistaken. And he had a couple really great tackles in the backfield. He's very good at getting into the backfield and making some tackles behind the line of scrimmage. And he's just got really good instincts. I think when you're looking at a strong safety, you need a guy with good instincts. And I think Julian Love, I actually thought that he was really good strong safety when he was a rookie. I thought that he was so impressive for a rookie 4th-round pick. They started him at the beginning of the season, working him in as a slot cornerback. It just wasn't working out. The transition is a little difficult to be a cornerback in college and then a cornerback in the NFL, especially when you might have some athletic limitations. But Julian Love, considering those athletic limitations, makes more sense for him to move to the back end of the defense, play as a safety. It's just free safety or strong safety. Well, his slot cornerback ability gives him some, technical advancements as a strong safety and as a free safety, right? Because when you're playing in the slot, you are closer to the line of scrimmage. You are getting more involved in the running game and as a tackler, but you're also heavily involved in the passing game as a coverage guy in the slot, whether you're playing in the zone coverage or the man coverage. So that helps you transition to free safety. So really, I think starting off at slot cornerback was perfect for Julian Love because it gave him the ability to then move anywhere on the defense. He just has a lot of experience playing the run as a slot cornerback and playing in coverage as a slot cornerback, which gives him the ability to play free safety, strong safety, and even move out wide as a boundary cornerback. But when you're taking a look at his ability in the running game, I think that is what stands out the most. I like what he provides in coverage. He's had an interception in each of his first 3 seasons, 1 interception per year, which is pretty impressive. A few of them have been playing as a free safety. I know the one versus Chicago, I think that was his rookie season. He was playing as a free safety, playing a half, and he went up there and made a nice interception. So he can be a rangy guy on the back end if you need him to be, but I think because of the athletic limitations, you don't want him being that rangy back end free safety. You don't want him to have to get from, the middle hash all the way to the other sideline. Xavier McKinney is better at that. And I know he also had athletic limitations and some questions coming out about his speed when he was coming out of college. But I think he's proven to have much better game speed in the NFL than Julian Love has proven to have. I think where Julian Love thrives is closer to the line of scrimmage where he can use his IQ and his strength in the running game as a run defender. So that's why I think that he is actually a better strong safety than a free safety. And I do think he can have a tremendous impact as a starter at strong safety.
Yeah, the game you're thinking of wasn't Miami, it was against Green Bay. He had a forced fumble there. He had 4 tackles. Really great game for him there. It's kind of his first real, I guess Chicago the week before, where he had an interception, in his hometown. But he actually had a couple really good games against Philadelphia in week 17. Really good tackling grades, not as so much in coverage because they threw him out there at cornerback after playing strong safety every game before that. But I love the versatility they have with Julian Love, right? He can flip-flop between strong safety. He can play in the slot if you need him to. You can play at free safety, but some might argue that he's so invaluable just as that utility piece that maybe him being a starter takes that away. But I think that that's okay. You know what I mean? Because at the very worst, Julian Love is getting all these starting reps. Then if a guy goes down, knock on wood, if something happens, they can put Dane Belton in at strong safety and move Julian Love to free safety if it was McKinney, or they can put him in the slot if it was Darnay or whoever it might be if it was Cordell Flott. But here's a question for you. What do you think the probability is of Dane Belton making an impression here and maybe stealing some reps away from Julian Love? Because, that's the biggest competition for him right now. The only other guy is really Dane Belton. Coming out of Iowa, a thumper, 4.43, 40-yard dash type of guy, good straight line speed. He's not going to be your preferable guy in man coverage, but he is going to collect tackles. He's a good tackler in that respect. Pretty good zone coverage type of strong safety. Had 5 interceptions last year. Some good plays in coverage there, but you don't really want him in the deeper portions of the field. You don't want him in man coverage. That's where he's going to kind of be a liability. So, how do you think Dane Belton, or what's the probability of him kind of making an impact and stealing some reps?
So I think it's funny because I think it's time for Julian Love to move into the Jabril Peppers role, and it's time for Dane Belton to move into the Julian Love role. The Julian Love role being that backup that can play anywhere on the defense. He's done that for the last 3 years. Julian Love did that really well. Like he did that much better than I ever expected him to. Again, as I mentioned, starting games at every single one of the defensive back positions, slot, outside, free safety, strong safety. That's what I envisioned for Dane Belton early in his career. And maybe they'll just kind of get Dane Belton ready to one day be the Julian Love, right? Move into his starting position one day. But I think the way that the Giants incorporated Julian Love into their defense over the last 3 years was very clever. And I know that was a different coaching staff, two different coaching staffs, right? Yeah. So I think that was really clever of those two regimes. But I do think it's one that, it's easy to replicate with a guy like Dane Belton. Just having Julian Love enter the NFL, learn every position, make him as useful as possible. Make him useful anywhere on the field. Give him as much added value as he can possibly create. And that's what made Julian Love such a special player for the Giants over the past 3 years. No, he's no Pro Bowler. He's no all-star, superstar player. He's nothing like that. Most generic NFL fans, your casual fan, they don't know who Julian Love is. But Giants fans know who Julian Love is because he's constantly on the field. He's constantly lining up in different places and making plays and being a super valuable player on the Giants defense. And I do think that Dane Belton has the ability to get introduced to the NFL in the same fashion. I think he, playing that cash money backer role that he played at Iowa's defense. So he was playing linebacker, he was playing nickel corner, and he was playing safety, all rolled into one position. So there you go. He's got that versatility to play as a slot corner, to play as a safety, as a box safety, strong safety. And that's why he could maybe compete with Julian Love there. But I think it's better to just go with the experienced player in Julian Love as a starting strong safety, have Dane Belton work in as that cash linebacker, nickel corner, strong safety hybrid that Julian Love was for the first 3 seasons of his career. Because Dane Belton, cornerback and safety combined, he can line up all over the place the same way that Julian Love did for the past 3 years. And I think that's what the Giants defense should try to emulate. They should try to emulate, basically just replicate actually what they did with Julian Love, but with Dane Belton. And I think that's how you're going to get Dane Belton up to speed with the NFL game as soon as possible and create a lot of added value, make him a much better player in the long run.
Yeah, I think you kind of take it easy with some of these rookies, right? Like you let the guys with experience kind of take over and have the majority of those reps to start, which in my opinion means Julian Love should be getting those starting reps to begin with, or at least be the favored guy. But I would not be surprised to see Julian Love and Dane Belton on the field at the same time with McKinney, 3 safety looks. We've talked about in the past with Jabril Peppers, McKinney and Jay Love. But Belton's an interesting player. I'm curious to see what they do with him. Maybe even use him as a gunner to start on special teams and just contributing in that way. But I do think that he is a perfect scheme fit. A lot of the Giants draft picks this year were really good scheme fits. And I think that that's going to be a big way and a big factor in how they unravel this defense and start to kind of piece things together. But guys, would love to hear your opinions on Julian Love in the comments below. Really awesome player, really good utility piece. We're a big fan of his. Hopefully I'm going to try and get him on the channel during training camp to see if we can get a little interview out of him and see if we can learn anything new about his role and what he's looking forward to. So I'll try to do that for you guys as always. Get some cool, unique content. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. As always, we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Giants episode.